The chat exploded in a frenzy of emojis and all-caps fury the second Alex barked my username across his stream, his voice a razor-sharp whip that sliced through the digital noise like it was nothing. JamieMod87, what the hell? Ban that troll now, or are you blind? My heart slammed against my ribs as I hovered over the keyboard in my cramped Brooklyn apartment, fingers frozen on the mouse, the weight of 10,000 viewers pinning me in place like I was the villain in his spotlight. Little did I know, that single outburst was the spark that would burn down every wall between us, forcing a famous face from California to chase a ghost across the country just to whisper apologies in the rain. I slammed the ban button harder than necessary, the troll's avatar vanishing into the void with a satisfying digital poof. Alex's stream was my nightly ritual, a chaotic symphony of trash-talking gamers and pixelated glory that had hooked me 2 years ago when I stumbled into his channel during a late-night scroll. He was everything I wasn't. Bold, unapologetic, with that effortless charisma that made sponsorships roll in and fan art flood his Discord. At 28, Alex Rivera had built an empire from his San Francisco loft, streaming everything from horror marathons to competitive esports, his laugh an infectious rumble that could disarm even the saltiest commenter. Me? I was 25, a freelance graphic designer scraping by in New York, invisible except for the mod badge I'd earned after months of loyal lurking. It started as a joke, volunteering to wrangle his increasingly rowdy chat, but it became my anchor, a way to feel connected to someone whose world felt galaxies away from my quiet one. That night, though, the scolding lingered like smoke. As the stream wound down, Alex leaned back in his ergonomic chair, scrubbing a hand through his messy black hair, his brown eyes flicking to the camera with that signature smirk. All right, fam, that's a wrap. Shout out to the mods for keeping this circus from burning down. Jamie, you're on thin ice, but I appreciate the hustle. The chat lit up with LMAO and heart emojis aimed at me, a mix of sympathy and schadenfreude that made my cheeks burn. I logged off quickly, tossing my laptop onto the bed and pacing the narrow space between my kitchenette and the fire escape. Why did it sting so much? It wasn't the first time he'd called me out live. Alex thrived on the edge, his tough love persona part of the brand. But tonight, with the city humming outside my window, it felt personal, like he'd peered through the screen and seen the loneliness I hid behind every emoji I typed. My phone buzzed on the counter, pulling me from the spiral. It was a Discord ping from the mod channel, but no, this was private, from him. Hey Jamie, sorry if I came off harsh. Stream adrenaline, you know? Beer on me next con? I stared at the message, my thumb hovering over the reply button. Alex rarely DM'd mods directly. It was always group chats or quick thanks in passing. Part of me wanted to fire back something snarky, to match his energy for once. Instead, I typed, all good, boss. Just doing my job. Enjoy the Cali sunset. Neutral, professional, safe. I hit send and regretted it immediately. The words too stiff, too distant for the guy who'd just made my heart race for all the wrong reasons. The next few weeks blurred into a rhythm of streams and silences. Alex's channel hit a milestone, 500,000 subs, and the celebration spilled over into marathon sessions that left me bleary-eyed at my day job, sketching logos for boutique coffee shops while replaying his voice in my head. Our DMs trickled into something almost friendly. Quick memes about bad horror games, debates over the best pizza toppings. He swore by pineapple. I called it heresy. It was harmless flirtation with the fourth wall, or so I told myself. I knew better than to read into it. Alex was out and proud, his streams peppered with casual mentions of ex-boyfriends and pride flags in his overlays. But he dated within his orbit, fellow creators, influencers who matched his shine. I was the guy behind the curtain, the one who muted the homophobes without a second thought, my own queerness a quiet undercurrent I'd only shared with a handful of friends back in Ohio, before fleeing to the city for a fresh start. Then came the glitch. During a late-night co-op stream with a guest streamer, the chat devolved into a storm of spam, bots flooding with slurs, targeted at Alex after a viral clip of him shutting down a transphobic raid. I was on it, purging messages faster than I could think, but one slipped through, a vile thread directed at me, twisting my username into something ugly, implying I was just a thirsty fanboy simping for the star. Alex paused the game mid-boss fight, his face hardening on cam. Jamie, you seeing this? Ignore the noise. These clowns aren't worth the bandwidth. But his voice cracked just a fraction, enough that I caught it through my headphones. The guest laughed it off, but Alex didn't. He ended the stream early, muttering about toxic bullshit. And within minutes, my DM lit up again. You okay? That was aimed at you. Don't let it get to you. I wasn't okay. Curled on my couch with a cold takeout container, the words clawed at insecurities I'd buried deep. Growing up in a conservative pocket of the Midwest, I'd learned early to code switch. The straight-A kid who volunteered at church youth group while stealing glances at the quarterback. Coming out at 18 had fractured my family. My dad still sent passive-aggressive Bible verses via email, and New York was supposed to be the reset. But moments like this reminded me how thin the armor was. I'm fine, I replied. Happens. Part of the gig. A lie, but it was all I had. His response came slower than usual. It's not. Talk to me off-stream sometime. Voice if you're up for it. That sometime stretched into days, then a week. I chickened out every time the invite pinged, citing deadlines or fatigue. Truth was, hearing his voice without the buffer of text felt too real, too exposing. What if the easy banter dissolved into awkwardness? What if he realized I was just another admirer, not worth the pixel? Meanwhile, the stream drama simmered. Fans dissected the incident, some defending me as the unsung hero, others fueling the fire with shipping jokes that hit too close to home. Alex doubled down, dedicating a segment to chat etiquette, his passion raw and unfiltered. My mods are family, he said, eyes locked on the camera like he was speaking to me alone. Mess with them, you mess with me. Friendship in the shadows. That's what it became, or so I convinced myself. We fell into a pattern. Post-stream debriefs in DMs, sharing playlists of indie folk tracks that matched his acoustic covers between games. He confessed over text about the pressure of fame, how the spotlight amplified every flaw, how he'd lost a close friend to burnout in the industry. I opened up in fragments, about my sister's wedding last summer, where I'd played the supportive brother while dodging questions about my eligible bachelor status, about the freelance drought that had me eyeing barista gigs. It was cathartic, these late-night confessions, but always through the safety of screens. Until the invite came again, insistent this time. Jamie, voice chat. Now, I need to hear you're not spiraling. I caved. The call connected with a soft chime, and there he was, not the streamer, but Alex, voice stripped of its performative edge, warm and a little hoarse from a long day. Hey you, thanks for picking up. We talked for hours, the city sounds fading as I leaned against my window, watching headlights streak by. He laughed at my impressions of his most dramatic raid calls, and I teased him about his obsession with vintage arcade cabinets. It felt effortless, like slipping into a well-worn jacket. But underneath, tension hummed, a current I ignored, chalking it up to the thrill of novelty. When we signed off at 3 a.m., he murmured, "This was good. We should do it more." And we did. Weeks turned to months, our virtual orbit tightening. Alex's streams became events I anticipated like birthdays, not just for the chaos but for the stolen glances at his setup, the pride mug steaming beside his keyboard, the faded band tee hugging his shoulders. He'd call me out less harshly now, turning scoldings into inside jokes. JamieMod87, don't make me regret that raise. And the chat ate it up, dubbing us the dynamic duo. Offline, our calls deepened. He shared stories of his coming out at 20, the rejection from his immigrant parents who saw his queerness as a betrayal of their sacrifices. They love me, but it's conditional, he said one night, voice thick. Like, be gay, but don't make it your whole thing. I mirrored it with my own scars. The cousin who ghosted after I brought a guy to a family reunion, the lingering fear that vulnerability was a luxury I couldn't afford. Yet doubts crept in. Whispers from mutual online friends. Alex was flirty with everyone. A charmer who collected admirers like achievements. Was I just another? And what about me? Still single, still hesitant, my last relationship a college fling that ended in mutual ghosting. The misunderstandings built subtly. During a stream Q&A, a fan asked about his type, and he quipped, smart, sarcastic, with a killer eye for drama. Sound familiar? The chat rioted with ship tags, but privately, he followed up, kidding. Mostly. They mostly hung there, ambiguous. pulling me in even as it pushed me back. The first real crack came at PX East. Alex announced he'd be flying in for the con, a whirlwind of panels and meetups in Boston. "You should come," he said on our next call, casual, as if it were a coffee run. "Mod swag bag on me. Plus, I owe you that beer." My stomach flipped. Boston was a train ride away, doable on a weekend, but the idea of seeing him, flesh and blood, no filters, terrified me. "Work's crazy," I hedged, hating the excuse. He paused, then right. "Another time, then." The disappointment in his tone was a gut punch, and for the first time, I wondered if I was the one scolding him now, with my walls. I didn't go. Watched the con from afar via his live tweets and stories, heart aching at clips of him grinning amid cosplayers, always scanning the crowds like he was looking for someone. Back home, guilt festered. Our calls grew shorter, laced with unspoken static. Then, the blow-up. A stream where a heated debate over representation in gaming turned personal. A caller accused Alex of tokenizing his queerness for views, and he snapped, defensive, lashing out at the chat, including a mod warning I'd issued too late. "Jamie, seriously? Get your head in the game." It was the old dynamic, revived and raw, broadcast to the world. The chat turned on him briefly, sympathy shifting my way, but I felt only nausea. Logged off midstream, phone silenced for days. When he reached out, it was an apology voicemail, voice wrecked. "I screwed up. Again. This isn't about the mod thing. It's me, pushing too hard because. Shit, I miss talking to you. For real." I listened to it on loop, the vulnerability cracking my resolve. Replied with a text, "Let's talk." "In person?" His response was instant. "Name the place." But life had other plans. My sister's engagement party loomed, a family affair back in Ohio, the kind loaded with probing questions and sideways glances. I dreaded it, the performative straightness I'd mastered years ago now feeling like a straitjacket. Alex sensed it during our reconciliation call, coaxing details until I spilled. The fear of being the gay brother spectacle, the prejudice that still simmered under polite smiles. "Go," he urged. "Own it. And if it sucks, call me. We'll trash talk your relatives all night." His support was a lifeline, steadying me through the weekend of awkward toasts and my dad's stiff hug. For the first time, I mentioned a boyfriend. Hypothetical, but it slipped out, and the table fell silent before my mom changed the subject. Back in New York, I was drained but lighter, texting Alex a photo of the cake. "Survived." "Barely." His reply emoji string ended with a plane ticket link. "Surprise. Landing at JFK Friday. Dinner?" My breath caught. He'd booked it on impulse, crossing 3,000 miles because of a late-night vent. The reality hit like a wave. This wasn't banter anymore. It was real and terrifying. Friday arrived in a blur of nerves. I paced my apartment, second-guessing every outfit, every word. The buzzer rang at 7 sharp, and there he was, taller than the stream suggested, with laugh lines crinkling as he grinned up from the stoop, duffel slung over his shoulder. "Jamie Mod 87 in the flesh. You look exactly like I pictured. Better, actually." His hug was brief but firm, scented with airport coffee and that cologne I'd imagined from unboxing vids. We walked to a hole-in-the-wall Italian place in the village, the autumn air crisp, leaves crunching underfoot. Conversation flowed easy at first, con stories, stream mishaps, but under the table, our knees brushed and the air thickened. Over pasta, he dove deeper. "I came because I couldn't not. These months. You've been the one constant, you know? The guy who sees the mess behind the mic." His eyes held mine, earnest, and I felt exposed, seen. I confessed the doubts, the fear of being just a mod crush. He reached across, hand covering mine. "You're more. Always have been." The touch lingered, electric, but we pulled back, public, cautious. Prejudices lingered even in progressive bubbles. A wrong glance could spark whispers. The night stretched, a walk through Washington Square Park, arcade hopping where he crushed me at Street Fighter, laughing off my rematches. By midnight, back at my door, the goodbye hung heavy. "Stay," I whispered, not meaning the couch. He searched my face, then nodded, but we kept it chaste, talking till dawn on the fire escape, stars faint above the skyline. Morning brought coffee and clarity. This was the start, fraught with conflicts yet. But surprises waited. His phone buzzed mid-sip. A call from his manager. Urgent. Deals off if I don't fly back tonight. Sponsorship drama. Panic flickered in his eyes, the fame machine grinding. I drove him to the airport, silence thick with unsaid promises. At security, he pulled me into a hug that bordered desperate. This isn't goodbye. Video calls till I can steal you away. The kiss on my cheek burned, a preview. He boarded, and I drove home hollow. Days later, a package arrived. A custom controller engraved to the best mod, and more. Inside, a note. Flew across states once. What's a continent for us? Hope bloomed, tentative. Yet misunderstandings brewed. Online, fans caught wind. Leaked airport pics sparked rumors, trolls twisting it into mockery. Alex went radio silent on stream, citing personal time, and worry gnawed me. Calls went to voicemail, DMs unread. Had the pressure won? My own circle questioned. A friend warned of power imbalances. Another gushed over the romance. Prejudice from unexpected quarters. My landlord, overhearing a call, made snide comments about those Hollywood types. The climax shattered on a rainy Tuesday. A viral thread accused Alex of faking the meetup for clout, complete with doctored chats. Rage boiled. I defended him publicly for the first time, tweeting a vague "know the man, not the myth." It backfired. Hate DMs flooded, dredging my past, outing family ties I'd kept private. Curled in bed, storm raging outside, I broke, calling his number despite the silence. He picked up on the third ring, voice wrecked. Jamie, God, I've been an idiot. Manager found out about us, flipped, said it could tank the brand. Tears pricked my eyes. Us. He laughed bitterly. Yeah, terrified me, how much I want that. Flew back without thinking. I'm at a hotel in Midtown. Come. I did, hailing a cab through sheets of rain. The lobby was hushed, him waiting in a corner booth, soaked hoodie and red-rimmed eyes. We talked. No, poured. Everything. His fear of conditional love mirroring mine. The industry's homophobia cloaked in optics. Our friendship's evolution into this fragile, fierce thing. I scolded you to keep distance, he admitted. Scared of feeling this much. I confessed the same, walls crumbling. Outside, rain easing, we walked hand in hand, unapologetic. Conflicts loomed, family calls, sponsor ultimatums. But in that moment, under streetlights, it was enough. Love, misunderstood and hard-won, across states and screens. The weeks that followed were a tightrope. Alex extended his break, crashing on my couch-turned-air mattress. Our domesticity a quiet rebellion. Mornings meant shared bagels and stream planning. Nights, tangled talks on identity. He met my sister over video, her approval a balm, and I braced for his parents' eventual reckoning. Friendships deepened too. His creator's circle warmed to me, co-stream invites flowing. My local queer book club teased endlessly about my celebrity squeeze. But tension simmered. A sponsor meeting via Zoom turned ugly. Execs probing our relationship status like it was a liability. Alex stood firm. It's real. Deal with it or walk. They walked, but smaller brands jumped in, drawn to the authenticity. Prejudices surfaced closer. A family dinner invite from him, laced with his mom's veiled barbs. I went, armor up, and when she cornered me, he's too wild for settling. I met her eyes. He's worth the wild. It diffused, a seed planted. Highs crashed into lows. A stream collab with a conservative-leaning gamer sparked backlash. I modded through slurs, heart pounding. Alex pulled me off mic post-show, holding me as sobs came. We're in this, he whispered. Development bloomed. I quit freelancing for a full-time gig at his team's digital arm, Equal Partners. He therapy-ed his way through fame's isolation, inviting me to sessions virtually. The true high came at Pride, New York's parade a riot of color. We marched, hands linked, his megaphone rant on visibility drawing cheers. Amid confetti, he dropped to one knee. Not proposal, but a key. Move with me? SF or here, your call. Tears mixed with rainbows. Here, build together. Yet drama peaked one stormy eve. An ex of his surfaced, a vengeful creator leaking old DMs, twisting our story into scandal. Media frenzy hit, calls poured in. We faced it head-on, a joint stream, raw and unscripted. This is us, Alex said, my hand in his on-cam. Flaws, flights all. Views soared. Support overwhelming the hate. In the quiet after, on our fire escape, he traced my palm. Scolded you once to hide this. I smiled. Flew to find it. Love, friends, forgiveness, woven tight, unbreakable. Our life wove new threads. I designed his channel overlays, infusing queer icons subtly. He guessed it on my podcast experiments, voice steadying my nerves. Friendships fortified. His best friend, Mia, a trans artist, became my confidant, plotting surprise dates. My Ohio ties mended slowly. Dad's email shifting from verses to questions, tentative bridges. Conflicts lingered, but growth tempered them. A cross-country move. We compromised. Bi-coastal streams, rooted in Brooklyn. Prejudices faded under persistence. His mom's visit brought empanadas and apologies. The arc closed on a stream milestone, million subs. Amid cheers, he pulled me on cam. To Jamie, Maud, Muse mine. Chat exploded, hearts raining. Off air, in our shared space, we danced to his playlist, Future Bright. From scolds to states crossed, we'd scripted our drama. Love's plot twists, eternally unfolding.